All right, it's that time of day. This might be the last one for the season. Today is the 13th of September. I'm sorry, 12th of September. And the garden is certainly starting to deteriorate. We've already thrown some of it out, so we'll just start in the normal order that I look at things and show you around the place. As you can see, most of this is dead where I had the cucumbers and that. The Swiss chard continues to grow, although not as fast, because the days are getting shorter. And everything seems to know that. As you can see, some of the wall of glory has started to grow on this side. I don't know if it'll keep growing next year, but I've let it grow here because I don't mind if it grows all around. Well, maybe not all around. I wouldn't want it to get too thick here because I think that would be bad. I would have to stop it if there was too many of them, because then these pots wouldn't get any sunlight because it comes from that side of things. But this pot down here, it's got a Trombosino growing. I hope it gets big enough to actually eat it. It's big enough now actually, but hopefully it'll get bigger. Most of what's in these pots is pretty much dying out. I'll be pulling them out soon, I'm sure. And they try to grow something, like you see that squash growing there, but it doesn't really go too far. So I'll probably get a few odd things like that, but not much more in the squash and cucumber category. Here's the wall of, this is the wall of yellow beans. And I pick a few more every day. See, there's one right there. And there's more down in here. So this idea worked out very nicely of having a second crop of these. The thing about these yellow beans is that and you can see I've planted them all the way down here. The thing about them is they flower once and that's freaking it. So, you can see that there. Those are all dead. In fact, I could probably pull those out today. Well, no, not really. It looks dead there, but when you travel up here, that's where that Trombosino is growing. So it ain't dead yet. I think that's from a Monty Python show or movie. I'm not dead yet. As you can see, the wall of glory is indeed looking glorious. Very nice. Very, very nice. All the way up and down. Not as thick as it has been some years, but plenty presentable. So anyway, right here, down where you see it's all barren there, that was all bush beans. And then this end here was all peas. The only reason there's anything there is just growing, these things growing across it. But there's nothing actually growing in it. Oh, wait, down there, those are late planted cucumbers, which I think I might have gotten one or two of. Maybe they'll actually give something, but it was an experiment. This next row here is the most pathetic looking. Well, this and the next one after it are the most pathetic looking because I don't know what did this, but I think you can see I've had better looking cabbage. Now I'm sure when I start peeling the layers away, there'll be some edible cabbage in here. And then these, that's the Brussels sprouts. And you can see that there are indeed some Brussels sprouts forming there, but they're not really big yet. These things will continue growing right up into the October, November. In fact, that's when they seem to do the best growing. Here's probably the best looking cabbage of the bunch. And there's one here too, once I take stuff off of it. So I will get some cabbage, but boy does it look horrible. And I don't know what did this. It just devastated these plants here. And I've yet to find a single bug or green worm on them. It's got to be an insect that just does this and leaves. And I don't know what insect that is. I guess I could look and see what kind of insects. I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I haven't looked it over. So you can see there's a lot of damage. These are broccoli, which got me nice big initial florets, but not much sense. There's one starting to come through. Anyway, I expect in the next few weeks all this is going to get yanked out. And as you can see over here was tomato plants. Those are the cherry tomato plants. And they're ripening, but the plant is obviously not growing. So what's ripening is just dead cherry tomatoes. I could probably pull all the cherry tomatoes off that and let them ripen in a bag. In fact, a lot of people have already done that with their gardens. Our next door neighbor, we have new next door neighbors, and all our neighbors are fabulous. Each side of us and across the street. But they have a church, and I guess there's some people in the church that have a garden, and they must have pulled all of their tomatoes. So the other day, she came out and plunked down on my car a cardboard box full of green tomatoes and said, "Here you go." She doesn't know I got a few of my own, but that's okay. Oh, she doesn't care. It's okay. I'm fine. I like tomatoes. You know, one thing I've never had is fried green tomatoes. I have no idea what those taste like. I have no idea if I'd like them. I have no idea. If I saw a restaurant that had those, I would order it just to see what it should taste like. And if I liked it, Judy would recreate it. She would go nuts recreating it because that's what she does. She considers herself a chef extraordinaire. Here's another thing going on this year. See what's happening? Acorns galore. Freaking acorns galore. I've got to, at some point, once I've pulled everything out of here, I'm going to take a broom and I'm going to sweep all of this. Sweep it all up. And probably I'll throw it in my compost bin, which I'll show you. I think that's pertinent to this video. So I don't know what this is going to do. This, as you can see, it starts down here. And it grows and grows and grows. I don't know that I got this much, but we certainly got a lot of growth. And it's not producing too much, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. Oh, I meant to show you one other thing that I was growing here. Here's the Jerusalem artichokes. Another thing I've never eaten yet. I keep saying I'm going to dig them up and do something with them, and they're edible. I let them grow here because they reproduce, but I don't do anything with it. It's the roots that you eat. It's the roots that you eat. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything leaving them here. They're just going to get more and more. But I've never eaten them. So has anybody out there ever had any of these things? Just curious. Beautiful, beautiful morning glories. Just a whole wall of them. Love my wall of glory. Well, there are, that's a small one. There are peppers, but I didn't get very many of them either. It was not a great year for peppers, even in the pot. The pot does better than in the ground. That's what I found. Now, let's see if I can find what I was looking to show. Yes, there it is. See it? Yeah, it's one of the different squashes that I planted this year. Butternut. I believe that's what it's supposed to be anyway, is a butternut. So, okay, now that's most of the garden and how things turned out. It's always a trip. I got a truck backing into, oh, it's my neighbor's place, I guess. They're getting a delivery. All right, let's go over here. And there you see it. Yep. In fact, I'm working on this. I was going into the garden to get some water, and then I thought, oh, I should make a video. So I'm off making a video. I'm attempting composting for the first time this year, and you can see what I got down in there. Now, if you're wondering what the rest of that stuff is, it's pellets. This side is pretty much empty, and the top of it is marked plus for add more, and a clock for let it stew, let it rot, let it compost. And I've come to understand you add 1 part of plant material, you know, like kitchen waste and such, to 2 parts of brown matter, which can be leaves, shredded paper, and I found out pellets, like, pellet stove use, because it's wood, brown matter. However, I have not gotten my compost really percolating yet, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong yet. This is a learning experience. But anyway, that's the composting experiment going on. I bought a thermometer, but just putting my hand in there today, I could tell it wasn't even warm. So I said, nah, no point. So I stuck it in the shed. I've got to find a way to at least get it warm. Other things in the garden. Oh, yes. My happiness every year. Here it is. Concord grapes. They take no effort at all. They just grow. And as you can probably see if I go right here, there's lots of them here. There's more up there. They're all over. It's a very thriving bush or vine, whatever. It grows all the way over and over and up there. There's 2 vines, and I couldn't tell you which is which. I planted the thing years ago, somewhere in here. I think right here by this tree. But it's expanded over this way and all the way. It's using whatever it can to climb. You can see it. It's completely untamed. I know I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad vineyard operator. But my mom had one like that too, and it existed for years and years and gave grapes for years, and you don't have to do much of anything. Concord grapes are wonderful that way, and I can crunch them up and make Welch's style grape juice. And then over here, this has been a box of chocolates year to year. The tree, and I think I told you last time, and maybe even showed you, that the tree was being attacked. And if you look back in here, you will see this mass of bushes and things that's growing up, and it's leaning right over towards this tree. It was up in it, and it's all been, well, mostly torn out. As you can actually see, if you look right there, there's some of it up in here attacking the tree. If I go over on this side, you'll see it more clearly, that it is coming out and coming over and attacking the tree. All that's going to get removed, every bit of it. In fact, my intention is I'm cutting out all of that. It's all coming down. That whole business there is going to be cut down and tossed out into the woods to compost. That's going to happen. The apple tree, on the other hand, is doing swell this year. I don't know if you can see it. I can zoom a little bit. But those apples are pretty good size. They're Granny Smiths. This was a 3-in-1 apple tree. And I remember I bought it from the nursery, and they said the poor thing, one of the grafts didn't take, so it was a 2-in-1. And nowadays I find it's a 1-in-1. It's almost all Granny Smiths. But there's a ton of them, and they're great apples for making apple pies, apple crisp, all the things that I'm not eating anymore, because I am losing weight, and I'm doing it by being on a low carb diet. Not a no carb, but just being low carb is good enough. And I'm not one of those nutty people that is going to eat tons and tons of pork and beef. Nope. No, I replaced the carbs and sweets that I'd normally eat with healthier stuff. Fish, chicken, and vegetables and fruits. Not a lot of fruit, because again, that is the sweets. And I've lost 15 pounds so far, which to me, at my weight, is a significant amount. Here's where I dumped my first load of compost. It's right there. It's kind of continuing to compost in place there. So that's good. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those apples. I would like to pick some, and I'll do the work for Judy, most of it, peeling them, cutting them into little pieces, all that good stuff. And I will be able to make something. And maybe I can freeze it or store it up for the winter one way or another and eat it a little bit at a time and not a lot. All right, other things. We are pulling out, actually Judy would probably be somebody to be featured here because Judy has been on a project this year. She has gotten into bittersweet removal. I will show where. That sounds like the truck. He's putting down some mulch over there for my neighbor. Oh, I see a big tarp down here. I'm not sure what that's all about. But this path is at the end of my driveway. Here's the cars. And 180 degrees is this path, which has been there forever.
I started removing it up there.
And bittersweet and crap has grown throughout this area for the longest time. And since my neighbor moved in and they started removing stuff, and we started removing stuff, and it's become a big project just clearing out all the bittersweet and vining stuff.
All the way through there.
Yep. It's a big deal. And so what are you doing with the tarp down there? What's that becoming?
Trying to keep it from getting sun, so maybe it'll die.
Oh, she's trying to starve it for sun. Okay.
While you're here, you can help me because I can't get it over.
Well, in a bit when I'm not holding this, but yes. So I'll just take another quick walk around here to get the other things because all of them evolved. This is the 4 o'clock plant or 5 o'clock plant.
Yes, it's not 5 o'clock yet.
It tends to bloom late in the day. Not bloom, but open up, and then it closes up. It's also called a Japanese wonder plant. I got a deal where normally you get like 4 bulbs of this, and they're like $10 each or $5 each. I got 10 of them, and it was like $12. Very nice. But I'm not planting them this year. I don't know where they're all going to go, and they're different colors, so I'm looking forward to that next year. That'll be on tap for next year. Meanwhile, they're stored in the cellar, and when the season is ending here, I will dig that one out, and it will also be added to the collection. Out here, there's not much to report out here in this front part of the garden. This was the hibiscus. It is played out about a week or 2 ago with those big red blooms. It's doing great. I'm not sure what this plant is. It's doing pretty well. And I think Judy planted this, which is catmint. There's her lantern plants, the Japanese oriental lanterns it makes that she loves. And they're an invasive species, so they go everywhere. You have to pull them out. I've never gotten this rhododendron to really behave and be a cute plant like the one out in front of the house, which you can see back there. Well, it looks like it's all part of the same thing. It looks like it's all part of the same tree. I'll get closer though, but oh, here's what she makes out of those Japanese lanterns. See, Japanese lanterns. She made that out of these Japanese lanterns that grew here. Okay, so yeah, this rhododendron looks beautiful when it's in bloom. Most everything has gone in and out of bloom by now, but there's a few rare things that are still blooming or coming into bloom. Yeah, the tickweed, it's gone. This, oh God, can't think of the name of it now, but that's gone. This looks like it's coming into being. The mums, they're coming up, but Judy just planted them. Hosta, gone by. It's burning down. And the peony, also burning down. There's another peony. And these, they were like daisies or black-eyed Susans, but I forget what they actually are. They're gorgeous. They're just gone by. They were recent here. So here's Judy's herb garden. And this is runaway, I don't know, some kind of decorative grass. As you can see, way run away. I got to cut a whole bunch more out of that. Every year I cut out of this and it gets bigger. Same with that hosta. I cut it down to 1/3 the size and it grows 4 times the size. It's unbelievable. In fact, here's where I put the parts, some of the parts that I cut out of the hosta. I put them on the edge here. I'm going to start putting them out back now, even though they get eaten out there and they don't manage to grow. So, well, I guess that's kind of the long and the short of it. So I'll stop at this point. At 20 minutes is long enough. Take care. Bye till next time.